What's going on, guys? Today I've got another build video. This is a melee Magicka Templar. It's the update to the build video I put out several months ago, maybe close to a year ago. A two-handed resto staff melee Templar. This is the updated build version of that using Oakensoul. So this is a one-bar two-handed melee Magplar. Very similar to my melee Mag Blade video I put out like 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. But yeah, other than that, let's dive into the stats. So here on the stat sheet, I'm running 22 into health, 42 into Magicka. I'm running 22 into health just so I get the 30k. I do this on all my PvP builds, with the exception of like a ganker or something like that. But if I want to be any kind of brawler, any kind of like fight outnumbered, I'm definitely going to try and get 30k. So after that, after you hit 30k, you'll see in my champion points, I'm also using the champion point that gives you max health. I'm also running one piece trainee. So I'm getting extra health from and I'm running all tri-stat enchants on my gear. And plus 22 in health, so that's how I hit the 30k mark. So after that, you dump them all into Magicka. This is a melee Magplar. So about 23.1k. These are the base recoveries, 16 and 1000 stamina. Base spell damage is 6.3. This goes up quite a bit, almost near 8k. Sometimes, yeah, I think it does go over 8k if you have your continuous maxed out. Good weapon damage, spell crit 37, spell pen over 10k, and physical pen over 10k. Spell resist 24.5k, physical 20, and then your crit resist at base is 19, basically 1950. But let's go ahead and use Rallying Cry, because we are running Rallying Cry on this build. There it goes. It goes up to 3.5k. So definitely solid crit resist, and really resist all around. Your spell damage does go up there to almost 6.7k, and it goes up a lot more with some of the stuff we're using. So let me see something. Okay. Yeah, you can see all the buffs from Oakensoul. We are running the Atronach Mundus for more recovery. So with that and Bear Haunch is the food we're using. This is the best in slot food for most. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, my resistance seem a little high. So I do have a 2% increase to my physical and spell resistance right now. So I think this is usually a little bit under 20k, I want to say. But yeah, so these would normally be 2% lower. Keep that in mind. Atronach, Magicka Recovery, Smoke Bear Haunch, gives you max health and all recoveries. This food's super expensive though, so obviously you can run the Jewels of Misrule. You'll just miss out on the health recovery. Or even Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which give you your max stats. There's some good options you can use as far as food goes, but this is the best. And then I am a high elf, so I believe on a Magicka build that especially on a melee Magicka build, because you're using your stamina quite a bit to block certain things, to roll dodge. And you do get good sustain out of, we can go over the skills in a second, but I think High Elf is one of the best. It gives you damage, it gives you max Magicka, it gives you sustain. You could argue that Dark Elf does the same thing and might be better. Breton would be good. Khajiit with the critical would be really good. Even Imperial, you could probably make a Nord work. I mean, race doesn't matter so much, but I do think High Elf is probably one of the best in slot for damage. So I think we covered all of that. Let's hop into, well, I guess I could show you. We are running these pots, the normal tripods. So if you hit rallying, maybe rallying will proc. There it goes. And hit a pot. You can see our Magicka recovery is almost 2k. Stamina is almost 1.3k. Health recovery does go up a little bit. Yeah. So those are the stats. Let's go into the gear. Gear, like I said, if you see my melee Magblade build, it's this exact same gear. So Rallying Cry, 5 pieces. We are running a helmet and a shoulder because I am choosing for my extra one piece to be a trainee. I like running a heavy piece of trainee on my chest. I've got it gold. I've always done it. You can reinforce your chest to get the most armor possible on an armor piece. I like that, and I like the 1.4k health. If you don't want to do this, you can put New Moon here and then run Rallying somewhere else, and then you would have one open slot here. So you could go like a Helmet of Magma Incarnate for extra stamina and magic recovery. Valken Scoria for penetration. You could do a spell damage one. Yeah, the options are, up to you on that, but this is the way I run it. And then my second set is New Moon. As I explained in that video, New Moon's a really good damage set. Obviously, they put the cost increase on it a while back, and I think they might have nerfed the spell damage and weapon damage a little bit, but it's still really strong. It gives you crit chance, almost 500. Oh, it does give you 530 weapon and spell damage, and then also nearly 1500 penetration. And you don't have to proc it, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to keep the uptime on it. It is always up. This is just always damage, free damage, and there's nothing you have to do to get it. So I run Sharpened, and then actually, right now, I was using a decreased health enchantment, the Oblivion damage, but I should have, let me see something. Yes. I actually just bought this to change it to a weapon and spell damage enchant, so let's do that. So Sharpened with a weapon and spell damage enchant. It's giving you an extra, basically 350 spell damage on top of what you already have. Really strong. And then Oakensoul. It's going to give you all those buffs. The jewelry is all infused spell damage. The gear, I'm running one heavy chest, and I'm actually using a heavy legs of New Moon, reinforced as well. So 2 heavy, and then light, 3 light, 5 light, sorry. So I'm actually running 2 heavy, 5 light, all tri-stat enchant. You could go 2 heavy, 4 light, and then 1 medium if you want to craft like a medium hands. That would be the ideal spot to do it. So you could do that and get your medium passes. You also could just do the 1 heavy chest and then go 2 medium. So medium hands and medium greaves, they'd be medium pants. And do that. But you do have to run, if you're running it this way, you're going to have to run at least 1, 2, 3 light. So you could do 3 medium, 3 light, 1 heavy. I think that would be really good. Or 2 heavy, 1 medium, 4 light. Or the way I'm doing it is 2 heavy, 5 light. All of those are going to be solid. So yeah, Rallying Cry, New Moon, Oakensoul, Trainee. Let's go into the skills. Skill number 1. This is your spammable. This is what most Templars use. I did put out a Templar Archer. It's actually a Magicka Archer build video, pretty unique, a few days ago. So if you're interested in seeing that, it's a pretty fun build to use. Go check that out. But yeah, this is obviously going to be your melee spec. Puncturing Sweep does a ton of damage up front, and it's cheap. It hits so hard. It actually reduces their movement speed, and it heals you. So this skill is just overloaded. Like, it's so good. Yeah, and it's like an area of effect kind of attack, so it is very, very good. You can hit multiple people with this. Skill number 2, also it procs your Burning Light passive in the Hadric Spear skill line. Balanced Warrior is increasing your weapon and spell damage by 6%, and your resist, another strong passive there. Skill number 2, I'm using Race Against Time. If you, again, saw my melee Magblade, I say that this ability is on every single one of my builds. It gives you so much. It gives you minor force, so extra crit damage, and major expedition, increasing your movement speed. And it also removes snares. So like this ability helps you move so much. And it also gives you more damage. It's really, really good. And you get the Psijic passives, which are pretty strong. There's a spell reduction or cost reduction on your Race Against Time. Spell Orbs gives you kind of a burst damage once you build up the stacks. It's kind of nice. Then Concentrated Barrier is going to give you a little bit of a damage shield when you block. Also nice. Third skill is going to be Dawn's Wrath, Purifying Light. Another kind of Templar staple. You put this on them, and you go to town with your jabs, hit them with an ultimate, whatever, use your combo, and then this basically copies all of the damage they take for a certain 6 seconds, and then it explodes on them. And when the effect ends, you can basically go into it and it'll heal you. Yeah, really strong. And then you also want to make sure you keep this up for every 20 seconds, because it does give you Illuminate. Basically, it gives you 10% more spell damage, minor sorcery. A great thing about these skills, minor sorcery and Sigil Order, the minor force and major expedition, those are 2 buffs that you don't get from Oakensoul. So while Oakensoul gives you a ton of major and minor buffs, those 3 do not come with it. So it pairs up really well. Then my final 2 skills are going to be Resolving Vigor and Honor the Dead. This is obviously a strong heal. It is stamina, so you do have to kind of manage your stamina sustain a little bit. But it's a really, really strong heal. Basically 6k a second. I mean, it's just super strong. And then this is a huge burst heal. So I found I like using both of these. You could probably get away with just Honor the Dead, but both of these together are really, really strong. And honestly, you got all the damage you need with just jabs, Purifying Light, and your Crescent Sweep is what we're using for an ultimate. You could go Dawnbreaker here. I can show you the AoE setup of this build if you're playing in a group. It's also really fun to use. I think that covers all of that, though. Like, I do have Undaunted maxed on this character. So, High Elf, we talked about those. You want all of your passives there. Salt, you want those. Support, let me see. Nice, so I can unlock that. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers. So one thing I did want to mention, if you're playing in a group, there are certain things I would switch out. So I would put on Solar Barrage. I would put on Caltrops. Where's that one at? This right here would be actually Dawnbreaker. If I was playing in a group, this would be so strong. You could even switch this to Breath of Life. Or you could take off one of these heals. You might want to take off the stamina heal because you already are using a stamina with Caltrops. And then you could put on... There's so many different things you could put on. It's actually insane. You could put down a cleanse. You could put on one of these abilities. Two-handed. You're probably not going to put on one of those. We are using it two-handed though. I guess I didn't mention that. We're using a greatsword. So, yeah, you could go two-handed maul. You could go dual wield, 2 maces. But I actually think on a 1-bar Oakensoul build, since your healing is coming from the same bar, the greatsword is going to give you more healing because it gives you just flat-out weapon and spell damage. Whereas the maul would give you more penetration. So overall, a little bit more damage, but do you want a little bit more damage or do you want more healing as well? Okay, apparently we just a random loading screen at the AD gate. So there's that. But that's why we're running a two-handed sword. And then, yeah, as I was saying, your 4th skill here could literally be anything. I would pick some kind of AoE skill or a buff. Let's see. Yeah, you might even put on Magic Adept. Throw it on there. Some, well, you know, if you're in a ball group especially, they might make you put that on. So yeah, and then all of this is going to be AoE. You would probably want to change your champion points around maybe a little bit, but I'll let you figure that out. Let's just do the normal build for a second. And Resolving Vigor. And Crescent. So that is the build there, and the skills. Let's go into the CP. Up top, Steed's Blessing, Gifted Rider. I don't have all my CP, so my next two are just ones that I put on because I have to. So Treasure Hunter I have to, and Master Gatherer. Those are just because I got up to Gifted Rider, I had to. So if I didn't have these and I had more CP to spare, I would keep Steed's Blessing, Gifted Rider, and I would put on Rationer for more duration on my food, and Liquid Efficiency gives me a chance not to consume my potion when I use it. And then obviously reducing your fall damage is a really big thing to do. So that's what I'm working on upgrading. Let's get into the blue. The blue CP, it's interesting. Biting Aura you always want to have if you're using a Jabs Templar. So you gotta have that. Ironclad is my 1 damage reduction. Flat damage taken, or direct damage. And then the same as my Magblade. I'm running Untamed Aggression and Master at Arms. Just more damage. And then Untamed gives you damage and healing, basically. So it's pretty strong. You could swap Untamed for another damage mitigation, or even Focus Mending a heal. But I like that it gives you damage and healing. So that is what I'm using there. In the red. Fortified, more armor. Balanced Vitality, more health. Celerity, movement speed. Survival instincts. Yeah, basically. Anytime you are afflicted with a status effect, which if you're in PvP, it's going to be all the time. Your core combat skills, roll, dodge, block, all that stuff is going to be 25% cheaper. So that's really handy. If there was anything to switch out, it would probably be either the max health or the armor. And then you could definitely put on Pain's Refuge. That's one that I always want to fit on, but for right now, this is the way I'm using it. Sustained by Suffering is also good if you need the recovery. And Relentlessness, you don't need that with Oakensoul. Juggernaut could be okay too, because it's just a flat damage reduction. But yeah, that is the CP. And yeah, guys, that is the build. So hopefully you guys liked it. I'll attach some gameplay at the end so you can see the build in action. It's just another really strong melee style build. So if you guys like the build, like the content, I'd appreciate if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. I'll keep trying to put out more builds. And yeah, in the meantime. Lucky fucking bitch. Oh, now you wanna fucking come back, huh? Fucking weirdo. Calm down, bitch.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptom of infection, including fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Tell your doctor if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Tremfya. Emerge Tremfya. Tap this ad to visit Tremfya.com and talk to your doctor about Tremfya.
These TNT fireworks are awesome. I can't wait for burgers. For $17.95. The hard roasted watermelon is only $2.49 with M perks.
Get more for your money. Pay the same low Meyer prices whether you shop in-store, pick up, or have it delivered to your door. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Why is my teammate just... Where are you going, bud? Like, holy fuck. Straight ran. I've got fucking... God damn, dude. Focus on the points, he says. I'm gonna... Oh, I don't even want to fucking respond. Like, these guys fucking on the same team? Seems like it. Fucking shit on. Dead. Fuck out of here. Fucking shithead greens. You guys getting fucking sniped from that red too the whole time. Yeah. Don't hit the other guys, guy. So annoying. Yeah, no wonder these guys don't want to fight. 0-5, 1-3, at least one guy's 4-1. Jesus. Guys are just on top of each other. I want to kill this red so I can one-on-one this fucking green. Oh, you guys want to help? Thank you. At least one guy helps, and like you can take out a whole fucking team. That's all you need. I really missed the ult. You lucky little rat. Come back to your team, bud. Excuse me? Yeah, I've got that fucking rat. And my team's just gone. Got you, fucking rat. Oh, you lucky. I was about to turn on him. Ah, so annoying.